Hi, welcome to ECE 37. This is Module 8, and I'm Dr. Laurie Daly. And I'm going to pick up where I left off last week in Chapter 3 in the 3 R's textbook. I'm going to start with the concept of building relationship and being in relationship. This chapter is all about relationship. And starting in page 19. All healthy and powerful relationships are intentional processes, meaning you have to intentionally interact with somebody. It doesn't mean you can't interact with somebody unknowingly and still have relationship, but a powerful connection is one that has intentionality in it. And relationship is important, it's actually critical, for reciprocal learning. There's that word again, reciprocity. It's going to be throughout your whole textbook. And reflective practice. So if we're going to get those 3 R's, at the heart of it is the relationship. As a matter of fact, I like the way West Ed does it. They put relationship as the first R of the 3 R's because they think everything else builds from it. Without that relationship, you won't have reciprocity. You won't have any kind of respect, you won't have responsiveness, and in our case, reflectiveness is one of the R's. So relationship is critical. I always say that what you make room for will grow, i.e., what you make room for in your life is what will flourish. If something really matters to you, then you fit it into your schedule and you make it fit. If a relationship is important to you, you nourish it, you make room for it, you let it grow. I'm sure we all have friends that have come and gone in our life. And we think, golly, I wish I had kept in contact with that person, but now they've moved on and I'm not sure how to get a hold of them. And we're kind of saddened by it, and sometimes we're not so sad. I can see, sometimes it's, yay, glad to get that one out of there. But and that's also true too. You intentionally let a relationship go. But if it's truly important for you to have a relationship and a friendship with somebody, you make sure that you keep it. You call them, you have lunch with them, you have coffee with them, you take classes with them, you email them. Of course, you're all Facebooking kind of people these days. I'm on Facebook now too. So you Facebook them. Actually, Facebook's great for that because you can sometimes find old friends that you have lost track of. I just found 2 old friends that I hadn't seen in years, and a friend of a friend friended them, and I saw it, I was like, oh, Kim and Sean, I'm so happy to see them again. So that happens in our life. So my point here is that we need to make room for what matters for us. When things in your life almost seem too much to handle, it's important to come up with systems that work. And I don't know about you, but are there enough hours in the day to get done what you need to do? No. At the end of the day, it's like, I almost got it all done, but I didn't quite. And that means, should I stay up until 4 in the morning and finish this? Or do I get up early and do this? Or do I just, like the hamster on the treadmill, keep going and going and going and going and going? So when 24 hours a day is not enough, I want you to remember this. Mayonnaise jar, and 2 cups of coffee. I'll get back to it. So I have this large empty, you all recognize the giant mayonnaise jar, right? It was light mayonnaise. No, it wasn't. You can tell by the color of the lid. Busted. If it was light mayonnaise, this would be light blue. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my empty mayonnaise jar, and I'm going to fill it with some balls. I was going to use just ping pong balls because, well, they're easy. But then I thought, no, we're ECE people. And I have a few other balls that are kind of fun, like a little miniature basketball. It doesn't bounce very well. But then I've got this thing that I don't even know exactly what the deal is, but it's squishy, and you can kind of see through it. And it's bumpy. What?
I had ornaments like that, yeah.
Can you squish it like that too? Mm-hmm. Ooh, it makes a noise too. Then I've got a little tiny painted golf ball. I think this is one that we decided to do marble painting with. in one of my classes. Then I got this little tiny soccer ball. This one's a super ball that doesn't bounce very well. And I've got this spiky little guy. I do too, I love these things. And they get squishy, and inside is something that I don't know what it is, but you can feel it in there. It's kind of a cylinder shape. This one doesn't have anything inside. It's also spiky. And this guy is, I don't know, I guess like a, what's the word I'm thinking? Like a hard foam ball. So I'm going to also put in some golf balls, or ping pong balls rather. I'm not a golfer. Oh, then I saw my golf balls in this cylinder, and I thought, just as a side note, remember I told you I sometimes hit the pause button on my lecture? Well, I'm hitting the pause button on my activity lesson here. That this is simply a packing tube that I got from Uline, this packing company, and these two end caps. And I put these balls in there, and this makes a really, I'm sure it's pretty loud on the microphone, but it makes a really nice thing for sensory integration, children who have issues with sensory integration. And you can put them on pretty tightly so that they can't pull the ends off. I purposely loosened the ends so that I could pull that off, and then just show you that it'll dump right in. And you could put anything in here. I put confetti in them. I have all kinds of stuff. So they're my tubes. I love them. And anybody who's had ECE 1B with me will know that I really do like these things. I use them for glitter tubes, all kinds of stuff. So I've got the balls in there. Let me see, anything else? Pretty full. I guess we'd say this is pretty full. Maybe I could fit another ball and close it. Yeah, do you think I could fit another ball, or is it full? One more? And close it? You're saying no, you're saying maybe? If I squish it? Push it down there. We do that in life? Yeah, we squish things in here. Okay, I'm going to take that Wednesday night class, even though I don't really have time for it. If I just squish it in there, I can fit a little more. Oh, look, I got 3 more in there just by squishing. We are ECE people. And I think those little spiky balls down here at the bottom were squishy enough that we could squish it in here. But can you tell that it's pretty full? You can't even hear them rattling around in here now. All right. We'll all say the jar is full. I have a container of gravel. I can fit some gravel in there though, huh? Sure I can. So it's full, but not completely full. I don't wonder how much gravel I can fit in here. All right, I'm going to do my very careful pouring. I thought about getting a funnel, and I thought, nah, this will be more fun. All right, we're getting there. That must sound interesting on the microphone. It does sound like a rain stick. Oh, it's going, it's going. Okay, now it's starting to pool up here at the top. Oh dear. Oh, I think I've kind of gotten it. You think it's full? Should I shake it? That's how we do it in our life, don't we? When things are full and we don't think we have enough time, we rearrange things. Cram it in there. We'll fit some more, won't we? Oh, yeah.
The whole bag.
You think we can do the whole bag? That's my plan. I don't know if I can get that whole bag in. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh! I can probably get the green and purple one from the table too, and the blue one over here.
Those are the couple students that added classes.
Those are the couple extra students that added class late. Yes, exactly. Looking pretty full, huh? Let me see, make sure the camera can see that I have sand. But we still have room, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We do. All right, we can fit some more in here, huh? I don't think I can fit all of this sand in here. Or can I?
You could. Take it.
Normally I would make one of you help me, but I know that no one's all that crazy about being on camera. Oh, here it goes. You've been voted in. You're going to come and help me if I need it, whether you like it or not, huh? Oh boy, I think we're getting full. What do you think? There's always room? I think I'm going to spill on my desk here. Oh, she says we should put a hole in the side and we could filter out any bad idea. All right, this is pretty full. I'm not sure how well the camera can see this, but it is bulging over the top.
Forcing other balls out.
You think I should take some of the balls out?
Well, I mean, it's like forcing some of them up, maybe.
It is. It's pushing it up. So let's see if I can close it, because if I can't close it, then I'm in trouble, huh? Oh, I can still close, just barely. No, I can. I can see. But it is forcing some of the balls out, so we don't want to do that. Ah, but I got it. There's no way I'm going to fit all of that in there, but that's okay. I got a lot of it, didn't I? I bet I could even fit a little bit more. It's starting to get pretty full. Let me see if I can get any more in there. I will. I think I've done it now. What do you think? Full? Mm-hmm. Now are we full?
Yeah, looks like it.
I think so. Except the 2 cups of coffee. What do you think?
1 cup. 1 cup.
1 cup? I should move my iPad. Move the iPad.
You're going to be able to fit 1.5 cups.
I think 1.5?
Sand absorbs the liquid.
Okay, let's see. One of these I was actually drinking out of. I think it was this one. One more sip. Very good. Thank you, TJ, for making us coffee. All right, here goes. 1 cup, almost. It has to go in a little bit slower now. Definitely not as easy as getting the balls in here, huh?
Has to filter through.
Oh, look, these guys are pushed up.
Yeah, they float.
They do. You should use golf balls if you do this guy. All right, let's see if I can get it in here a little more. I should have used the other cup because that one I diluted with water. This one I was drinking. All right.
All right, we'll make you another pot.
Thank you. All right. I think at this point, I'm not going to be able to fit that 2nd cup of coffee in there. But I fit a cup. And now if I can get these guys back in, I think we can close it very carefully. Thank goodness we got a little bit of room at the top of the mayonnaise jar lid. This jar has a little grace to it, huh? There's a teaching in there, huh? Mayonnaise jars have grace in them. Oh, I can feel the balls bulging up the top, but, oh, and it popped off the thread. You get in there. Give it one more. All right. I got it. I can close it now. Yes, this is a college course, huh? We're ECE. We do these kind of things. All right, did I get it? Almost. One more thread. Oh, wow. It's tight. And, I got it. Look at it, it is bulging. It's absolutely, I had to get the last thread on there or else it would go, right? All right, so if you had seen all 3 of these containers full of stuff, oh, wait a minute, I brought in some ping pong balls in here too, didn't I? You would never have believed that I could fit this all in this one little mayonnaise jar. And my point is, get the sand off of my iPad, a little bit, that the golf balls are, or the balls, period, because I use more than, not golf balls, ping pong balls, and the other balls, all my different shaped balls, are what we would consider the important things in our life. You've got to put the important things in your life first. That would be your family, your children, oh, you know what? I'm going to say no. No, I'm going to say really at the end of the day, maybe it could be for you, but for me, homework isn't going to be that first one that goes in. I'm going to make sure that everybody's fed and alive. The dog is fed, the husband's fed, right? The house is not on fire, right? Actually, that my health is together, so that means we're eating healthy. I put that in front of my homework now. I'm preaching to the choir here. I tell you, we always put other people first, but your health is very, very important. Your relationships are important. That would be your friendships or your parents, your significant others, your classmates, your pets. Your pets matter, right? Your favorite passions. Look at Mary and think your art. That's got to be, you got to schedule that in or it won't happen, right? And I'm saying you need to schedule that up top. That's the big stuff. And things that if everyone else was lost and they were the only things that remained in your life, they would still be full. So even if I didn't have my job anymore, and it's hard for me because relationships are important, and so I would put you in as relationships, even though it's a job. I get paid to come and teach, but really it's more than that, it's relationship. And so that would go in as one of the golf balls for me, or ping pong balls, or whatever, spiky balls, whatever, because relationships are important. That at the end of the day, my job isn't going to be the thing that matters most. As hard as that is to believe, because often in this culture we put job first. Number one. And banking. And the reality is, our parents, our children, our significant others, our friends, our relationships, our pets, our passions, really are the most important things in our life. And that's good. I want to give you the power to do that. I mean, I'm applauding you if you do that. And we can get out of whack pretty fast, including me. And then the pebbles, or in this case I used gravel. I used fish gravel. Somebody donated that a while ago. The bag of gravel are the things that matter in your life, like your job, your school, your house, your car. Those things matter. But if you get the balls in first, the main pieces that at the end of the day you can't survive without, then you can fit in the gravel. So you're studying, and obviously our jobs are important. Then the sand is everything else. The small stuff that we often sweat. The laundry. The laundry, that is number one here on my iPad. Laundry. Cleaning the house. Picking up the dry cleaning, those of you who do that. That stuff is pretty insignificant, and yet we can make that the most important stuff. How often I remember hearing my mom say, we can't go to the beach today. I have to clean the house. That was something, I'm not making my mom wrong, that was something that was drilled into her, that to be a good wife, you have to, before you do anything, you got to clean that house. And I'm not like against clean houses. Anybody who's ever been to my house knows I'm pretty particular about that. I like a clean house. But it's not the thing I do first. It's really not the first on my list. And the older I get, the less important.
It's just going to get dirty again.
It does, doesn't it, Mary? I'm saying, I've just noticed, didn't I wipe that counter about 20 minutes ago? And look at there's crackers all over it again. Oh, well.
How many chances do you get to go to the beach with your mom?
I hardly get to do that. As a matter of fact, when I was preparing this lecture, I noticed the last time I was at her house, she had surgery. I was walking her dog, who's actually my dog, who's living with her, taking care of her, because when you're 80, you tend to get in trouble, and so the dog is there to keep her out of trouble. And I was walking the dog, and I noticed that there was a bocce ball court where she lives. And I thought, oh, I can see sandwiches, maybe a bottle of wine, my husband, my dear friend, who's also a friend with my mom and the dog, and that's going to happen. That's absolutely, I got to make that stuff happen. Or I'll just be like the hamster on the treadmill, on and on and on and on and on. And then you're less productive, by the way. I forgot to look at when I started. Oh, I've got a little bit more time. All right. The other thing is, let's say if you're looking at the small stuff, you will put things out of order in your priority list. So let's say you have a house with a huge crack in the foundation. Are you going to fix the crack in the foundation? Or are you going to put new tile in the entryway? You're going to fix the crack. Because
if you put new tile in, it's just going to crack.
Well, that's true. And you might as well waste your money putting tile in because it's going to crack at the foundation. You're absolutely right. I almost used your name, but I think your name is so unique that that would let people know.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Medina, thank you. You're absolutely right on that. So you're going to fix the crack in the foundation. You're going to go for the big stuff, the stuff that matters. So the idea is if you try to put the pebbles or the sand in the jar first, there's no room for the big stuff. So let's not put the cleaning of the house in first. Let's not put the, if I tried this the other way around, which sometimes you can do this, if you do this as an object lesson, take the lesson, bring it to a parent meeting, right? Pass this on, definitely use it. But there's another way you could do this, and that is to have people try to put it in and then get the sand in, and now can you fit the golf balls in, and then can you, because you can't. There's no way you can put this much stuff in here. I barely got this stuff in here anyway. Unless you do it with the big stuff first, and that's the same with your life. If you spend all your energy and time on the small stuff, you'll never have room for the things that are important to you. If you spend all your time and energy on the things that matter, like your job and your school, etc., you'll never have room for the things that are important to you. So pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. I hope you think about that when you leave today. What are those golf balls and ping pong balls in your life? Play with your children. Take time to get medical checkups. Please, your health is really important. Take time to eat healthy. Fix a meal together. We so often grab fast food and go. Take time to make a meal with your children or your spouse. Work out regularly. That's important for your health. Find something you enjoy. I like that Kaiser ad where everybody walk. Have you ever seen that ad where she goes into like a spin cycle class? I was like, I don't like that. And she tries jogging and didn't like that. And she tries cycling, didn't like that. She tries the green drink. Makes me think of you. She drinks those green drinks. Didn't like that. Does a pole dancing class. And yikes, no, I'm not doing that one. But then she realizes that she can walk. I mean, everybody can walk. So find that something that you enjoy doing. Maybe walking isn't for everybody. But there's something out there that takes physical energy that you enjoy, that can be a relationship building thing. Take time to eat with your family. Well, I don't every night because guess what? I'm here Monday through Thursday. So, but I do on Friday night, and I do on Saturday night, and I do on Sunday night. And we always have breakfast together and lunch on the days that I come in and teach in the evenings. Take your partner out to dinner. Spend a little time to just have relationship. Take care of the ping pong balls and the balls first, and everything else, everything that really matters will fall into place. Set your priorities, and the rest is just gravel and sand, right? Oh, by the way, the coffee?
I was going to ask you if the coffee was emergency or something?
No, it just goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room to go out and have a cup of coffee with some friends. Brings me back to my point. What you make room for will grow. Do you have room for relationships? We're so busy in ECE. I can honestly say that we're so busy, we don't have time to get to know each other. We're just busy. I was looking at your posts. I'm trying to remember which module now because I'm taping these after the fact. I'm guessing it must have been, I didn't write down one, but I'm thinking module 5 or 6 where you talked about the things that you value. Module, well, maybe it was 4. Module 4, she's telling me 4. And it was interesting, we were talking about what we value, that a lot of what came up was family, of course. That's a golf ball, a big one. Communication, trust, respect. Actually, I remember you wrote that. And then I came back and actually inserted one. Said, oh, I think I see a fourth one in here, Chris. I think truth was in there too, right? And they were solid. Everybody wrote these very thought-provoking discussion posts on what you value. And it's interesting that when you nurture a relationship, the basics, the key ingredients to being in a relationship, according to your textbook on page 19, is communication, time, the ability to handle conflict agreeably, trust and respect. Those are good things, huh? They definitely remind me of your discussion posts. In order to learn together and create shared beliefs, group members must speak to one another. I mean, you have to have voice. And back to that, see how we've come full cycle to the very first module lecture I did? You have to give someone voice if you're going to hear what they have to say. Listen to one another and really hear one another. You can listen without hearing, or you can hear without listening. You know what I mean. The other thing I want to say is that on page 21, your text talks about organization with cliques. Do you know what I'm talking about? That is, you can't become a purposeful organization if you have cliques. What I mean by that are these little groups of people that are in and then other people are out. If it's the us against them, then we don't have collaboration. We don't have communication. We don't have trust. We don't have open dialogue because these people stay together and these people are not allowed in. It does remind me of high school. We were proud that we had cliques in high school, right? We can't duplicate this in our school systems with our children. And you know it happens. It becomes toxic. Organizations that have these cliques, they stop that purposeful communication. It stops because you can't communicate if you're not allowed to get in the inner circle. And if you feel like you're not in the inner circle, then you feel less than. It ties into my last lecture. If you feel less than, then you're not valuable, then you're not going to have great job performance. So as administrators, it is imperative that we start to build relationships and destroy the cliques. Now, I don't want to destroy people, but I want to tear down the barriers that keep some people in the in circle and some people on the out. And the way you do that, build relationships. I can't hate you if I know you. Most hate comes from fear of the unknown anyway, or not understanding it. So if we tear those down and we bump up against each other, which is not always so easy to do, but definitely worthwhile, we work together more effectively and more efficiently. We encourage professional growth. Just by stopping these little cliques, people feel better and they grow professionally, and it actually benefits the whole institution. They're laughing. Do we ECE have a clique? Oh, you're groaning. Okay. Oh, I see. She's growing professionally and physiologically. I have a question of you. How many of you love to deal with confrontation and conflict? Oh, let's all just jump in there. Mary, you're good. Sometimes it does feel good, doesn't it?
It keeps you on your toes.
It depends. Yay! You used my own answer. Yes, it's true. And you know, if you see the underdog, so to speak, being hurt, I don't mind.
No, yeah.
We all can stand up and do that. But for the most part, I think we tend to kind of like to be peacemakers. We want to get along well. Confrontation, no, we don't. I would prefer not to. I would love it if everybody just did their job and did it with peace and a good attitude and did it with excellence. And then
It doesn't have to be bad, though.
it doesn't. That's my
trick.
next point.
See?
You go, girl. That's absolutely it. Actually, before I go there, though, I have to ask you, how many of you ever had a boss that wouldn't look at conflict or confrontation? Isn't that impossible? It's impossible. It stops the organization right in its tracks. You have to be a leader, you have to learn how to, there's coping mechanisms that we can take on to help us be able to deal with confrontation and conflict. There really are coping mechanisms that we can use, but the truth is that we have to. Because when we put our head in the sand and hide, then everybody gets hurt. Either someone gets away with hurting other people, or somebody feels like they're not being protected, or, right? There's a lot of things that happen if we don't deal with conflict. But the awful outcome often is that the environment becomes toxic. You have to deal with conflict. And if you're working with somebody who doesn't, it's infuriating. Matter of fact, that to me is one of the definitions we can slide into a good leader. Will learn how to do conflict resolution, even if it doesn't come easily. Without it, it's toxic. And that environment affects not just the teachers, but remember, it trickles down and affects the children. So instead of dealing with conflict in a way that's constructive, we often see it as negative. I'd like you to think of it as more of a positive thing. If we just do the paradigm switch, we change the definition, like we were talking about, definitions matter, maybe we can see it in a positive way. So often when there's conflict, it opens up dialogue. It throws open dialogue if we deal with it, because we have to talk and communicate. And it's often an opportunity for growth, because if we listen and hear each other, then I'm going to learn something from you. Hopefully you'll learn something from me. It'll be reciprocal, bi-directional. As we bump up against each other and our different paradigms rub up against each other, we're open to new ways of thinking, and we're stretched. I like this old proverb that iron sharpens iron. If you think about that, the only way to sharpen your knives, I guess you could use it there's grindstones and stuff, but the old-fashioned way, my grandma would take two knives and she would use the knife to sharpen the knife. But that could be painful, I suppose, if you were the blade of the knife. That wouldn't feel good. But it is the truth. We sharpen each other. All right. What else I wanted to say is if you value somebody, back to this idea, this notion of valuing, if you truly value someone, then you value your opinion and you seek it. You're not going to seek advice from somebody if you don't value them. As a matter of fact, you're going to think, oh no, here they go again. They're going to talk again. No, I don't want to hear it, right? So it's important that we learn to value each other's opinions and seek it out. That's part of building relationship. And the NAEYC has a definition for relationships. It's foundational valuing of relationships. The foundation for the community is consistent, positive, caring relationships between adults and children, among children, among teachers, between teachers and families. It is the responsibility of all members of the learning community to consider and contribute to one another's well-being and learning. I love that NAEYC. They spell it out pretty well. I.e., if we really want to have an institution of learning, we have to build community and we have to build relationship. And that's listening, bumping up against each other, having disagreements, mediating the differences. Cooperative, let's see, I skipped something here. Early childhood programs must support children and adults in achieving full potential, and that's based on the trust, respect, and positive regard. So at the heart of relationship is cooperation and collaborative learning, and that's with everybody, even the hamster. And I'm kidding, but I'm not. Do we respect the hamster? We're teaching something if we're not. When the idea is that all living creatures, even the plants, need to be respected, and we're teaching respect. One of your things, I know. And if we're teaching it, then we're modeling it. As administrators, if we create respectful relationships between people, then we also see people as competent, capable adults, willing contributors in the education of their children, and that would be teachers and parents. I often say in my classes that the parents are their child's expert, or the parent is the expert of their own child. You've heard me say that, maybe not you, but I say it all the time. The parents are the experts of their own child. And we as teachers have got to learn how to allow them to be the expert. It doesn't mean that I don't have expertise in ECE, because I do, but nobody knows that child as well as that parent. I probably know pieces that the parent may not be aware of, because that parent may not be in the classroom with me and doesn't have these same experiences that I bring. But the truth is that parent's the expert. How about if administrators, if we look at teachers, look at the teachers as the experts of their own classroom? Just a thought. Teachers, they know that they know what their children need. They know the materials and how they fit into the space. They know what curriculum will interest the children. They know the different personalities and how they interact. Let's see. An administrator's perception of a teacher tells them, well, not only does it say what I think of you, gee, if I'm your administrator and I don't think you can handle your classroom, then that sends the message, I don't value you and I don't think you're capable, which we all agree is a horrible message to send a teacher. So the administrator's perception of who a teacher is and what they're capable will in a large part determine how the teacher views himself, and in the long run, how that classroom is run, how capable they are in the classroom. Are they competent? So what messages are we sending as administrators? I don't trust you to pick your own curriculum. I don't trust you to come up with your own behavior intervention plans. I don't trust you. I mean, nobody as parents wants the teacher to say, I don't trust you to parent your own child. So we have to be careful as administrators that we don't send that message. And that doesn't mean that both new teachers and new parents don't need support, because they do. And that support can look differently from classroom to classroom. And even veteran teachers still need support. We absolutely do. That's what resource and referral is all about, that we need each other. Together we're better. But as administrators, we have to respect that teachers come with specific experiences that we don't have, because we're not in the classroom with those children. And that experience is a valid way of knowing. It's a valid source of knowledge. Every student comes to this classroom with knowledge and experiences. I can either value it as something that is important, that we can learn from, or I can devalue it and say, oh, it doesn't matter. And then we're back to that, you don't matter, you're not valued, and there's that cycle. So it's very important that we remember that they have experiences that are valid. I'm going to end with this. Being in a relationship, adult mostly is what I'm thinking of, means that you have to be vulnerable, and that we value vulnerability over power. You can't be the know-it-all all the time. It depends is a really good answer. It gives you time to think. It gives you more ability to gather information. It doesn't show you off as the arrogant know-it-all. We have to be comfortable with uncertainty. We don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes it can be, gee, I don't know, we got to look into this and we'll get back to you. Let's all sit down and do a brainstorm and talk about it. I love that about behavior support plans, and they work because usually as a staff we get together, we pay attention to the behavior of the child that we want to change, and we work on it, and we strategize as a team. And that's why it works. Everybody's valuable in their input. Being in a relationship means that we're relinquishing the idea that there's only one right answer. Matter of fact, a friend of mine said that there's always at least 3 solutions to every problem. Actually, she was quoting someone who I'm spacing on right now. I can't remember who the name of this person is, but it's an old theorist. But so if you only have one solution to the problem, you might want to get some advice and find at least 2 more solutions before you make your decision. Risk-taking and experimentation over prescription, meaning I'm not going to prescribe what to do. I want to allow creativity and innovation. And if I prescribe what needs to happen, then I take that from you. You can't discover it on your own. And learning together rather than figuring things out in isolation are really important. And in larger organizations, we have to find ways to create smaller units that can foster this shared commitment to community. So I'm done for today. It's a shorter lecture because I went longer in my last lecture. And I will see you next week. Let's see, this is the end of Module 8, and we will pick it up with, wow, Module 9. Thank you.